But what happened with small and medium companies? They don't have the budget to compete with large corporations, and they still need AI. They need to adopt AI to remain competitive. That's where we come in. We can help the large corporations, but we're also focusing on helping the community at large.
Antonio and I, we worked for a few years, and every time when we work together, I'm scared because he always comes with something, or I come with something, and we get involved in a lot of projects. But as Chandler-Gilbert, we were the first child, I call it my first child, starting the AI program in the country. AI has been here for a long time. It seems like just now everybody, it's like COVID, it's exploding and panicking. So when Chandler-Gilbert, we came to the table with the industry and said this is the new innovation that industry needs and education, and what is the impact. So we are fortunate to have Intel, one of the largest corporations in our backyard, and others. And coming to the table, it was very extremely wonderful because Intel put on the table very candid what is their struggles and where they go in the future in terms of the AI and how they're going to implement it, how they're going to use that into their company and workforce. And us in that education is, as everybody who's educated in the rooms, you know that it takes 10 years and probably $10 million to create a program, especially going through the curriculum. But we came within a year and a half, we deploy, we develop, we work with Intel side by side every step of the way, as it should be. The industry should be at the table. That's what we build the programs for students to be successful in the industry. So we launched the program in 2020. We are on the second cohort right now. And as a first child, of course, we learn good and bad. And as the second child comes along, Miami, Antonio's gonna, what are your experiences with your program?
So, little of an intro to why both of us here, and it's definitely because on this conference, Jobs for the Future is all about artificial intelligence skills, and we do believe that not every job will require a master or PhD in artificial intelligence. We do believe that this is about the applications of artificial intelligence, and who better positioned to help that workforce development pathway than community colleges. So we have the first community college in the nation developing an associate degree in artificial intelligence. Kudos to Gabriela and her team for that. And as she said, we have all in the nation learned from her. And in our case at Miami-Dade College, we learned from them with that first associate degree in artificial intelligence to then develop our own associate degree with our own flavor, but also with a stackable credential to jump into a bachelor in artificial intelligence. The difference is that it's applied AI. This is not about, again, masters or PhDs. AI is not even new. Yes, those programs have been in place for many years. It's about how we do it from an application perspective to make sure that anyone, and I don't want to call them students, those are learners, anyone from any age can come and understand AI to apply AI. And this is not a computer science degree anymore. This is more about democratizing access to education on AI, making it affordable, making it equitable, and that's where we see where community colleges play a role. So in our case, how we have done it, learning from definitely Maricopa and what they have done, but also working with industry. This is the moment for industry and academia working together. Like, there is no better moment than this, especially in artificial intelligence. And yes, it's all about skills. Who define those skills? Industry define the skills that they need in those jobs that they require. So for us, we didn't have Intel with headquarters in Miami, like in Arizona, which is great, but we do have an intentional approach to work nationally with all those AI managers that are looking for talent, and they need talent right away with skills that can apply. And those were the first members of our business industry leadership team built that helped us develop the degree. It was no faculty developing the degree. Actually, there are no books for teachers or faculty to teach on applied AI. There are not roadmaps for an AI degree without advanced math or advanced programming, and that's what we wanted to develop. So we went by knowledge, skills, and abilities defined by industry to then develop our own degree, learning best practices, but also learning from mistakes. So I don't want this to be all, beautiful and flowers, like great. No, we have gone through a lot of, barriers to develop our own degrees. And I wanted to also touch on that. What have you done differently now looking back, 2 cohorts later? I wanted you to share something different that you would like to have done, to improve the program early on. But now that you also have completers, also to share, like, what is the success of the program so far?
Thank you. That's like asking, after you have your first kid, what did you do different with the second one? So I have only one, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the second one. But with the AI, it's good. I'm proud. I'd love to work with smart people in innovation. I think it's one of the main focus that we have from day one with Intel was investing in faculty, recognizing that you do not have the talent in-house. That's a lot of I believe, it doesn't matter industry or higher education, they make that mistakes because they look at the funding first instead of looking at how you invest in people to learn and to learn the skills, how I'm going to do that. So parallel as we develop the program, we actually train, and Habib, I think everybody knows Habib, we found an individual and who was willing, I didn't say we're stealing, we borrow him from Intel because he used to work for Intel and then transitioned to our institution. But we invested heavily in him, into the training. You don't have books, like you said, you don't have manuals, you don't have data. And there's times when we have to take that upon ourselves to create your own data and create your own books. So we started with that. Habib got trained, what he could. We developed the program with Intel. What we did unique into that, we recognized that the industry needs is how we shape the students to think critically and apply their knowledge in any industry. So in our program, students have to complete a core course at the end and be paired with a mentor from the industry, and they will develop a real life project in AI. So that's there on their resume. And they're well renowned right now, our students. The other piece, so those are the successful, and money comes. I hate to say it as that, but when you start innovation, money will come in, and everybody would like to invest in your successes. What I will do differently, like you said, it's we only collaborate with Intel. I think it's more from the time constraint and how we're going to bring everybody at the table to have those meetings, which it takes a long time, as you know, with the industry and even with higher education. When you bring more people and the voices, if we would have had a little bit more time, I would have involved a lot of the companies. We have a lot in Phoenix, from the east to the west side of the Phoenix area, but within the Arizona. Because large corporations, they will have the funding and the means, the resources to invest in higher education, for example, to start a program. However, they're not the main employers at the end. You have hundreds of the small and mid-sized companies that do not have the resources at the beginning, but they do have the resources as you move along. So I will change that.
For sure, like that diversity of feedback, because also at the end, Intel is a great company and we are getting great curriculum from them, but they're not the ones necessarily hiring all the students from the program. Can you touch on those students that are completing the program? Where are they going? Are they going just to Intel or somewhere else?
Good question. Some of the students, they make more money than us, but which is good. One of the other factors that work is recognizing with Intel. They said, okay, now we have students that graduated within their second semester. They competed at the global level with students from competition from all over the world. And our students, I'm proud to say, they won first place because they work with the mentors. Like, I'm involving a lot of the industry. We hire them as adjuncts, and also they're without pay. They volunteer with our students. But our students, they all get jobs. Either they go as, we have few students, they went on consulting on their own. They have so many opportunities. But this is one of the success programs that we have pretty much 99% hiring into the field. One of the lacks that it is, the universities are trying to catch up, and they do not have a bachelor degree. They may have a research on a PhD side or master's degree, like you said. Hence, this is why we started in Miami. We started a bachelor degree for the students. But the students, one of the funnies, the students who got the first place at the Intel Global Summit, their Innovation Summit, one of the prize was an internship with them. So I got a call from Carlos Contreras, and he says, Gabriela, we have a problem. He says, we don't have a job profile. We have everything, but we don't have a job profile. So let's come to, we know what your students are going to do, but we don't know what is the title of the job. And I will say that it's the first time with the higher education we went ahead of the industry and we are a step ahead, which I'm not sure if it's going to happen more often. But how are Miami? And I will say this, Miami, our students are not your typical 18-year-old. They are 26, 28, they're adult learners. They come back either, we have lots of engineers, we have lots of, from medical field, even lawyers. They're from all over marketing. They want, this is their upskill in their job. We do have 18-year-olds, but that's not a population. How is Miami?
So our program, it's a unique program. In academia, usually you launch a new program and you barely have 20, 30 students. To trust your career, your future degree to brand new program, that's hard. You want to see something established and to make sure that it works. What happened with us, we developed the degree a couple of years and then we launched we got the approval from the Florida Department of Education. We announced in 2021, coming to 2022, right when ChatGPT happened. So it was like the best timing ever for everyone to say, how do you microwave this degree so fast? It's like, no, it wasn't microwaved. We were working on that degree, building the degree in a meaningful way for years. It's just that the announcement and the approval to offer a brand new degree, associate and bachelor's, came when ChatGPT explosion happened. So 1 year after full implementation, we launched officially August of last year, so it's full year now, 772 participants in 1 year, 772. And I just told you that usually you launch with 20, 30 on the first year. 772, what is the profile of those students? That's not the typical high school to college student. That 60% above 26 years old. The largest bracket, if you divide by decades, 41 years old or older. Like 41 years old or older. That has never happened at a community college. That's your largest bracket. Yes, we do have adult learners coming back, but this is unique. And it's happening why? Because AI is transforming every single job, every single industry. And again, not just computer science, also because the way that we develop the program without prerequisites, you can come in just to learn about AI. But the moment that they come in for the first class, Intro to AI, they're taking ethics on AI. They're taking the applications of AI in their own field, either business, biology, you name it. That application, how can I apply AI into finance or marketing? And then they continue because they see the potential, they see the uniqueness that by getting those skills, they can advance not only in their careers, but actually to create their own businesses. And that's what we're seeing. The students are taking average 2 to 3 courses on that first year, and they continue taking more and more courses. And that's why we developed this as a stackable credential program. As a college credit certificate, you come, take just courses and leave. Doesn't matter. You're not looking for a degree. But the moment that you start taking courses, you want to take more and more and more. And that's why we build the associate and then the bachelor's as a full pathway. Where we are right now, with full implementation, we see that this is more about working professionals coming back, adult learners, how we can set them for success. The program by itself was developed for that particular audience. So what are we seeing now on the other hand? Like companies came to help us, but now companies, to Gabriela's point, they don't have a job description that matches that type of understanding of AI. The AI engineer role is very well defined. Look at prompt engineering. That's the most recognizable example that we have heard, that we understand. Prompt engineering wasn't a thing before ChatGPT, and now every company is looking for prompt engineers. I'm not saying that we are training for prompt engineering. We're doing way more than that, but that's an example on how new jobs are being created. What we are seeing is ourselves helping companies developing brand new positions that don't exist, like machine learning specialist, AI technician, and demystifying that you need to have a 6-figure salary. Yes, for AI engineers is true, but what happened with small and medium companies? They don't have the budget to compete with large corporations. and they still need AI. They need to adopt AI to remain competitive. That's where we come in. We can help the large corporations, but we're also focusing on helping the community at large, industries at large, small, medium companies to remain competitive by getting access to talent. So one thing that we are taking on ourselves is we have learned a lot of good and bad experiences on developing these degrees. We have seen what works, what doesn't work, prerequisites, what is the minimum that you need to have to be able to learn about AI. Now we are on one hand, getting a lot of requests from colleges nationally, hey, can you help us develop what you have done? Of course we want to help, but on the other side, working with companies on helping them create the positions that they need. So it's a really good position. So do you want to share the big news of how we are collaborating and what's coming now?
Yes, and before I'm going to say that, we also, when we invested, it's with Miami and of course Houston and us, we develop going back to not just training the industry, but you need to train your own people first. So we started this fall, we have in Maricopa the first summit only for faculty and staff within Maricopa, no outsiders. We had that last year. So we're going to continue that every year with just upskilling and reskilling and actually talk about innovation, how we implement AI in across the disciplines, how that looks like, what is the staff, what's on that side, and what the faculty, because that's, you cannot compete in the industry, but we cannot compete with faculty either, like to bring the talent, and so you have to build your talent within. So next, what we have next is when we are at the table, we see that, of course, we apply for grants. Also caution everybody, just because there are grants there, doesn't mean that you could, that doesn't mean you should. You have to be very conscientious and intentional about the grants, so we apply for the grant. Our vision is to create a framework nationally in terms of how we're going to bring industry education together to have an AI consortium nationwide in terms of bringing everybody to the table and talk about, I know we talk policies, what is the accessibility, what is the privacy, bringing not just industry, but all the other elements from, I know we have involved from the city to the state involved in our conversations, how they can help and how we bring everybody to the table. So that is coming soon.
September. With funding from National Science Foundation, we will have a national consortium for artificial intelligence focused on one side on helping community colleges, getting the funding to actually help colleges with mentorship, resources, faculty, professional development, but also on the other hand, to continue working with industry at the national level to make sure that first, the programs remain relevant because AI is changing by day. So we have to make sure that we continue getting the feedback, but also to help develop the positions that companies still are struggling to define in terms of the next generation of workforce that require AI. So very aligned with Jobs for the Future, defining those jobs that are required. We're going to be making sure that this national consortium on AI is looking at those jobs and helping academic institutions, higher education institutions to train the talent for that future.
And how about the younger generation? I keep saying, just because I have a daughter, she's 12, it's always train them as the young. So what is that initiative that we have moving just to support the K through 12? We also apply for a grant just to start a framework around developing a program from dual enrollment, but also younger, like middle school, high school, and bringing into that innovation space of not just AI. Like I said, AI touches every industry spectrum, but how you bring them in, create that. So that's another grant that Antonio made me partner. So
we're ready for K-12, for college, for adult learners, and as we said at the beginning, 20 minutes run really fast, and we just hit the mark of 20 minutes. So
this is why I'm not looking in that direction.
But we do have time for questions. So open now for questions.
So we know for new programming, particularly in these emerging technology fields, we need faculty champions. So I'm wondering, you are fortunate to have Habib, and we met Eduardo, and I think you've told me before about how you communicated this need to faculty and how you got them on board with the training and making them comfortable with it. So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about that.
Definitely. But you want to start with your approach?
My approach is, for me, I see my role is I have to be inspiring innovation. So I started to have coffee with the dean, and I started talking conversations when we started the AI program with all the faculty and say, okay, and staff, what are the challenges, and of course, leaving the ChatGPT. But just getting that moving, we are at a good point. And also I brought industry, and I said, collaboration is a two-way partnership. The partnership is a two-way street. So you have to give me your people that we can train them so they can give back and train my faculty. So that's my approach that we took.
And AI is a very competitive market today. And the salaries we cannot afford in higher education, that's true. Like we cannot aspire to have AI experts to come and teach. Maybe as an adjunct because they want to give back, yes, but that's like a donation of their time. To have full-time faculty is pretty much impossible for us. So our approach is really upskilling and reskilling our existing faculties, creating the incentives for those faculty to be part of that next evolution and getting into these new programs and degrees, because you have to upskill the same way that you have to upskill your whole team on AI, on how to adopt AI. It's the same for faculty to teach AI. And what Gabriela just said is huge for industry partnerships to make sure that you get your faculty trained with industry perspective, not in their own bubble of academia, and how to avoid students cheating with ChatGPT. No. This is the opposite. This is about encouraging the usage of AI, but also to be ready to teach about AI. And that's really what we are investing is in our own faculty. And with time, those potential new faculty on AI will come to you when your programs grow and they see the potential that you have in place.
We haven't touched on that before we go to the next question. We had a faculty after all the sessions that we have with faculty and industry and how, to train them. I had one of the English faculty and I said, Gabriela, I want to talk to you. So for 2 hours I listened. He was amazing and he's still amazing. He implemented how AI is going to be in all the English classes, going to help the students and write reports and do for the industry. So it's amazing how one faculty talks and sparks that. But we do have to look in-house before we go and reach for the stars outside. I reach for the stars inside.
Thank you. So there's obviously just a ton of new jobs that are coming out, but also a different profile of student, as both of you alluded to. And so, in terms of just trying to support student outcomes, I'd love to hear just some of the things, that have worked, and then just some of the challenges that you're seeing, as there are these new types of jobs and new types of students, coming into your institutions.
From my perspective, launching a new program, you learn a lot. What can you improve? First, it's incredible the diversity. Not only in age, like I already mentioned, but like 40% female on an AI degree, that's huge. For me, that's great success. But also diversity from the fields that they come in, from the expectations, from actually being out of school for 10, 20, 30 years and coming back, not remembering math. Like we have to really set level settling and expectations, because you have those that are ready, that know programming, and they're coming, ready to eat these classes and create their own startups. Those are happening already, but that will be like 10%. I think majority is trying just to understand what's happening, how AI is going to change the landscape. And at the end, it's not AI removing people from a job, it's people that know AI replacing people that don't know about AI. And that's what we are trying to focus, how to upskill anyone that comes. And the student profile changes completely, but you have to create that foundation. What is at least the minimum that you need? We realize that you cannot remove programming from the equation. You still need to know the foundation of programming to be able to move to machine learning, for example. So we are rethinking how to teach about AI, not the traditional way of universities mostly, of Calculus 3 and advanced programming, but what is the minimum that you need from applied math and foundation of programming. So that's where we are playing. And at the end, not everyone is going to really need all the programs or courses. Many people are going to get the skills and go back, and that's where continuing education, upskilling, non-credit programs really come in and take place. It's not even about the degree, it's just about the skills. So it's how to combine both and partnering with companies that are doing the upskilling to make sure that we can collaborate and create the best pathway for any learner.
And what we did is we hired an internship coordinator. So the job is solely for as we build the program, is to work with all the industry across and have the jobs and have those internships right there. So when the students came into the program, we already have the companies they're hiring and what are the jobs and what are the internships. So they do that internship as a program, as a class when they take the core class the second year. They work on a weekends, which I was shocked when I walk on a campus and I see the AI students with the industry. I said, what are you guys doing here? So we work on our class, and their classes on Monday, Wednesdays, but they work the whole weekend. They're on campus from Friday until Sunday night working on that. But that's what we created. You need to have that internship, and that, is the faculty and staff cannot do everything.
We good on time?
Yeah, it's like, no.
We have to transition to the next Candid Conversation right now, but thank you for the
Thank
question.
you so much.